Heat figure C in the warping the air Hellforge's blueprints that ignited a war against heaven. Glowing etchings of asterisk celestial slayer asterisk pulse as demonic forges roar, heat warping the air. Slayer asterisk the pulse as designs demonic shattered forges roar soulstone still smolders, sin heat wars chaos warping the air, whisper of a weapon left unfinished. Slayer asterisk the pulse as designs demonic shattered forges roar soulstone still smolders, whisper of a weapon left unfinished isper of a weapon left unfinished, a testament to a god's defiance. What if the Hellforge's true purpose was to forge a weapon to kill heaven? Sin War Tome's whisper of a celestial slayer, its schematics etched in ash. Not blades, but annihilation, Mephisto's forge aimed to unravel divine threads. Heaven's hierarchy, its light-bound thrones, became the target of a god's wrath. The soulstone's smolder lingers, a half-dead core of a war never fully won. A crucible's breath still hangs, waiting for the day the unmaking begins. The Hellforge's flames did not consume metal alone. Mephisto forged a shadow between stars. Angiris screams mapped the void where heaven might fracture. Zakharim's hymns, centuries before their ruin, echoed with his whispers, a faith built to crumble, a test to perfect. The soulstone's shattering in Act Roman 3 was not an end, only a pause. Nerel's breath now carries his schemes. Her veins hum with blueprints of annihilation. The weapon remains unmade, yet its shadow gnaws at every hammerstroke in the forge. Who bore this burden? No mortal hand, only echoes. Angiris, bound in torment, etched its design into the fabric of hell. Mephisto, patient as wrought, shaped Zakharim's towers into a proving ground, the Nephilim who last glimpsed it. A nameless soul, lost in Diablo Roman 4 corrupted wastes, the celestial slayer sleeps in schematics, in whispers. In the ache of every star that burns too bright, heaven's light grows thin, the forges still whisper. What is a weapon if not a wound made permanent? What is a soul if not a spark the dark fears to touch? Mephisto's work endures, not in steel, in the space between creation and oblivion, where even angels dare not look. In the void where light dares not tread, the Hellforge's anvil groaned, not for steel but for annihilation. Mephisto's architects carved the celestial slayer from stolen starlight, binding it to the soulstone's dual heart, a prison's pulse and a king's whisper. The weapon's core did not fire, it asterisk unwove asterisk. Each strike dissolved divine essence into ash, threading corruption through heaven's veins. The Sin War tomes detail its horror, a blade that drinks radiance, a hilt carved from the screams of exiled archangels. To wield it was to become both executioner and sacrifice. The Hellforge's alchemists fused infernal iron with celestial blood, forging a conduit for Mephisto's hatred. Not mere anger asterisk theological war asterisk. Every shard of the slayer carried a fragment of the soulstone, turning divine light into kindling for the void. Heaven's hierarchy trembled. The weapon's schematics promised a slow unraveling, not death but erasure. A god struck down by the slayer did not fall. They asterisk fractured asterisk, their purpose dissolving into the soulstone's hunger. Mephisto's influence swelled with each annihilation, a parasite feasting on order's decay. Yet the slayer remains unfinished. Its final componenta heart of pure celestial fire was never claimed. The forges still whisper of it, their heat laced with the scent of burning hymns. And in the silence between stars, heaven's guardians watch their own light grow thin. What becomes of a realm when its light fears to shine? The answer sleeps in the Hellforge's shadow. The Hellforge's flames did not consume metal alone. Mephisto forged a shadow between stars. Angiris screams mapped the void where heaven might fracture. Zakharim's hymns, centuries before their ruin, echoed with his whispers, a faith built to crumble, a test to perfect. The soulstone's shattering in Act Roman 3 was not an end, only a pause. Nerel's breath now carries his schemes. Her veins hum with blueprints of annihilation. The weapon remains unmade, yet its shadow gnaws at every hammerstroke in the forge. Who bore this burden? No mortal hand, only echoes. Angiris, bound in torment, etched its design into the fabric of hell. Mephisto, patient as wrought, shaped Zakharim's towers into a proving ground, the Nephilim who last glimpsed it. A nameless soul, lost in Diablo Roman 4 corrupted wastes, the celestial slayer sleeps in schematics, in whispers. In the ache of every star that burns too bright, heaven's light grows thin, the forges still whisper. What is a weapon if not a wound made permanent? What is a soul if not a spark the dark fears to touch? Mephisto's work endures, not in steel, in the space between creation and oblivion, where even angels dare not look. This artifact is more than what it does. Its meaning is wider than its function. The Hellforge is a monument to a war older than Sanctuaria War, where heaven's dominion was never secure, and hell's defiance burned eternal in every forged shadow. The Hellforge was never merely a foundry. Mephisto's crucible forged blueprints for annihilation, blueprints that outlived empires. Heaven's light, hell's shadow, their war is not a tale of balance but of erasure. The soul stone, that cursed heirloom, holds a fraction of a god's will to unmake. Each age inherits its curse. The celestial slayer's schematics, etched in ash and defiance, whisper of a weapon designed not to conquer but to unravel. Its purpose to pierce the veil between creation and void. Heaven built sanctuary as a shield, a fragile hymn to order. Hell's answer was slower, quieter, a forge that did not create but corrupt. The slayer's design targeted not armies but the architects. Mephisto's obsession was never hatred, it was inheritance. He sought to claim the divine right of destruction, to prove chaos is the true legacy. The soulstone's power, bound yet unbroken, fuels this ambition, a weapon unfinished but never abandoned. What lingers in Diablo IV poisoned lands. Not relics, echoes, the Hellforge's schematics resurface where sanity bleeds. The Slayer's ghost haunts every shattered spire, every soul twisted by its shadow. Its existence alone fractures the Sin War's narrative. This is no battle for Sanctuary, it is a prelude. A war where heaven's own heart is the target. Mephisto's schemes stretch beyond fallen angels and mortal pawns. His forge burns for the divine. The eternal conflict has no end, only pauses, and in those pauses the Slayer's blueprint waits. The schematics are not buried, not lost. They seep through fractured reality, Nerel's hip, Mount Arit's ash, Pandemonium's rot. Corrupted zones bleed them like old wounds. Why? Because the forge's whisper cannot rest. It hungers for hands that will not hesitate. The Hellforge's blueprints are bait, a trap for the desperate or the mad. Mephisto's crucible was never meant to kill gods. It was meant to unmake them. A weaponized void, shaped by hatred's theorem, its equations carved into the bones of the world. The fragments persist because the work is not done. The celestial slayer's ghost still smolders in the matrix. And now in Diablo IV festering veins, the question festers, where do the fragments lead, to completion, or to the end of ends? The Hellforge did not merely shape steel. It forged a heresy of annihilation, a blade to carve heaven's throat. Mephisto's crucible drank the blood of the three, their stolen light twisted into a weapon that mirrored Sanctuary's birth. Where heaven wove order from sacrifice, hell's forge knit chaos from the same thread. The celestial slayer's unfinished edge, still seething in the Mephistophelian vaults, is no mere artifact. It is a wound. A scar where the lie sought to become truth. The forger's hands, blackened by eons, never ceased their labor. Each fragment of the soulstone, each shard of divine fire stolen and perverted, fed the slayer's hunger. Yet the weapon remains unwhole, its completion, a joke etched into the bones of the conflict. For what is victory in a war without end? Heaven's hammers and hell's sickles are forged in the same inferno. The slayer's acrid smoke curls through time, a testament. Creation and destruction are but two sins clinking glasses, and so the forge waits. Not for triumph but for the next betrayal, the next sin to melt into its maw. The celestial slayer is no weapon. It is the question Mephisto cannot answer. If heaven is born of theft, can its killer be anything but a mirror? What secrets linger in Hellforge's ashes? The Zakarum faith's relics forged in Mephisto's shadow hold whispers of a plot centuries in the making. If their prayers were chains, what did they bind?